Hey, it's Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about March's book club pick, my book club over on the Fable app, which is the TBR and DNF book club. And our March book club pick was American Rapture by CJ Leede. Spoiler alert, this is now my favorite book of 2025. Yay! You guys look at, I do not annotate my books. I mean, once in a while I do, and kind of like, I do it, like, I started because I was like, oh, is this what we're supposed to do? Like, this is what the book girlies are doing. They're annotating, they're writing, they're putting stickies, like, and then I was like, I don't think this is really me. I don't think I do that. Like, it didn't really feel authentic. But I just like found myself grabbing my little sticky tabs and doing it kind of like unconsciously. Like, I just did it. And I went through all of the light colored purple tabs that I had and went into the dark colored purple tabs. And it's not like a million of them, but like I said, it's not something that I usually do. And first of all, I cannot believe this is the same writer as Mayfly. Obviously, writers evolve and can write different books. Like, obviously, each book is different, and it's going to be different characters and sometimes different genres and different subjects, and but wow, this is just a complete departure from Mayfly. Not a complete, it's still horror aspects. It's more, I guess, more sci-fi. I don't know. It's in a sci-fi genre category, but it's definitely horror too. It's just, if Mayfly was too much for you, if you did not, if it was too American Psycho-esque, you didn't like the female Patrick Bateman, if it was too gory, if it was too psycho killer, if Maeve was a little too, if she was just too much for you, which I understand, please give this a try. Give CJ's writing a try, because wow, this was just so beautiful. So this is about Sophie, who's 16, and we find out that she is in a very religious upbringing. Her parents are very religious. And when I say religious, I'm talking about, we're almost like cult status religious, like very Catholic, but I want to say almost cult status just because of where this book goes to. She goes to like a, religious school. Something happens with her brother. That's all I'll say. We find that out in the very beginning of the book, and she is very, very sheltered, very sheltered. She kind of like goes to school, comes home, is allowed to like go to the library, come home. Like, she's not doing any other extracurricular activities outside of the church or her school. And you don't realize really just how sheltered she is and how little she knows of the outside world. And it's almost like a coming of age book as well, and her questioning all of her beliefs, and but done while there's a virus, while this virus is raging, and while she's losing so much in her life. It's like losing hope, losing everything that she's believed in, like God, this almighty being. The way that CJ wrote this, being about religion, and then while the backdrop being this virus that's going around. It's so brilliant. So yeah, she's hearing kind of these rumblings about this virus going around while she's kind of starting to question her own, I guess it would be sexuality, because she's like growing up. She's questioning it because, like, oh, she's realizing that she's not fitting into her school uniform. like she's starting to like grow breasts and like getting taller and like getting more of a figure. And so she's realizing that the boys are starting to look at her in that way. And her mom tells her a story. Her mom is realizing it too. And her mom tells her a story, of course, a cautionary tale about her body, and makes it about how your body is sacred, and, you know, makes it about sin and guilt and all of that. So then while that is all going on, she's hearing rumblings about this virus. But of course, because they are living in this more sheltered life, even the parents too, because, you know, when you are, I don't want to offend people. I'm not a religious person though. If you are, and if this religious topic is offensive to you, then this is not going to be for you. I will just say that. And if what I'm saying is offensive to you, I'm very sorry. And then you might just, this video is just not going to be for you. So I'm sorry. But, when you put all of your beliefs into God, you're maybe not going to take the warnings as seriously. Like, hey, this virus is wreaking havoc, and you're maybe not going to put a lot of trust into the science and everything. So the parents are like, don't worry about it. God will protect us. Da 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 da. Well, you can imagine how well that worked out for them. So they're just not taking it as seriously as they should. And they're also not telling Sophie anything. They're not preparing her for anything or letting her know what is happening outside of their little inner circle, really. And I felt so bad for her because she just had no idea, not even the virus, but she had no idea about what was going on in the world around her. She did not have a cell phone. The only thing that she had access to really was books in the library, but books that her mom had to, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Permit her to check out. That's not the right word, but you know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, so the virus starts out kind of like, I think YouTube will flag this video if I use the vid word, but kind of like that, but it starts to mutate into what they're calling Sylvia. I think that's what it was, Sylvia. And I don't want to give too much away. Never been kissed, about to get screwed. Oh my God. A virus is spreading across America, transforming the affected and making them feral with lust. Okay, so the dust jacket tells you that. So the virus is transforming into this other thing, basically making people into these crazy zombie feral lustful people. And it just kind of happens like that, and it's all of a sudden people are just on you and they want you, and they're like, so, you know how like when people write zombie books, they say how much stronger they are. These people are so much stronger. And that's also how they infect you with bodily fluids, blood, other bodily fluids. And so, yeah, Mayfly was a very sexual book, if you read it. And yes, this does, like, that is a very, like, making them feral with lust. Yes, that is part of this book, but it is not just like zombies like doing it with each other through all these pages. This book made me cry so many times. I'm telling you, it's so beautiful. Sophie's having so many like revelations about the world and herself and the people that she comes in contact with and is meeting along her journey throughout this book. And it's just so beautifully written. Not that Mayfly wasn't either, because Maeve was such a complex character as well. But like I said, I just cannot believe that CJ wrote both those books. Like, I don't mean that in a, like, I hope that doesn't come off as me, like, in a negative way, because they're both 5-star books to me. Like, I loved them both so much, but oh my goodness, this was just so wonderful. But, anyway, yes, they're lustful zombies, but it's just, oh my gosh, it's just, they're so aggressive, and it's terrifying too. Like, it sounds, it kind of is quite funny too, of course. It's like lustful zombies, but terrifying also, like, and grotesque. And for Sophie, someone who has been so sheltered, especially when it comes to things like that, like, can you imagine how that, well, just imagine. So there's so much to take in with this book. I really don't want to give a lot of spoilers away with this, because I just think it's something that you need to experience for yourself, and the journey that Sophie goes on. It's just so beautiful. It's so heartbreaking. Like I said, I cried so much. Look at all my little sticky note tabs. I wonder if there's something that I can just, like, let me find one to just, I have one friend in this life with whom I am intimately acquainted and who will never be taken from me. The same friend of every Catholic girl in this world. The guilt, as always, is writhing in my gut. Oh my gosh. No books live in our house besides a few coffee table books on architecture and the Bible in each room. But in her head must be hundreds of stories. Hundreds of ideas she never lets free. I wonder if they are still there, sustaining her, or if she has buried them someplace forgotten and deep. She's talking about her mother. Sophie just has so many ideas in her head, and she just, like, can't let them out because she's so trapped in her body, in her house, in her everything, in her life. It's just... There's so many poignant moments in this book. It's so good, you guys. I can't. Okay, I feel like if I say too much more, I'm going to give spoilers. Yeah, okay, I won't. But one thing that I will say, this is a spoiler. Now, it's trigger warnings, okay? Obviously, there's going to be a lot of trigger warnings. Not as, I mean, it's a horror book, okay? There's going to be trigger warnings. I read through some of the reviews. One of them said something about trigger warnings, animal stuff, okay? Animal. And they said that it ruined the whole book for them. CJ, how could you do this? Blah, blah, blah. And then some of the comments were, thank you so much for saying this. I'm never going to read this book. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for saying this. It saved me from reading this book. Blah, blah, blah. I get it, you guys. Like, that is such a hard and fast trigger warning rule for some people. Like, if it has any sort of animal cruelty, animal death, animal anything, like, people just can't do it. And I totally get it, you guys. I have some pretty hard and fast trigger warning rules for myself as well. I totally understand, but it would break my heart if that reason was the only reason that you weren't going to read this fantastic book. Like, yes, so heartbreak. Like, I get it, you guys, I get it. But there are actually, like, websites and apps where it will tell you specifically where in a book, like, a child dies, a pet gets hurt or injured, a child gets injured, there's a grape scene. Like, there's apps for that now. There's websites for that now. It'll tell you the specific pages. I will tell you specific pages of trigger warnings if you want to. I just want you to read this book. It's so, so good. And at the end of the book, CJ's a letter to the reader page acknowledges everything about that. Because CJ's dogs are her children, are her babies. So when I read that comment on Goodreads, I was like, why would she even write that in her story? Anything about harming an animal in any way, any animal cruelty. And she did, when I got to the end, she did write about it in her author's note. So you guys, when authors are writing stuff like that, they're not just like, hey, let's like mutilate this animal. You know what I mean? I don't know. And that did strike me as funny because I just know how much CJ's animals mean to her, her dogs. So, please don't let that keep you from reading this book there like, okay. Yes, there's animal stuff, okay? That's all I will say about that. That's not a spoiler. There is so much death in this, and gore, and heartbreaking deaths, okay? There's heartbreaking deaths and mutilation, and I mean, it's a horrible virus and stuff, but it's so much more than that. It's like I said, it's like coming of age, and it's so beautifully written. And Sophie's such a complex character, and the rest of the characters are really, really great. I really just like soaked this book in and enjoyed every second of it. I want everyone to read it. This came out in August. I pre-ordered this book in August and was so excited to read it. And then life really just was like, nope. And just, yeah, kind of got crazy for me. And I just didn't get around to it, but it was so worth the wait, I am telling you. So I think that's all I want to say about it, because I don't want to give spoilers away. I just think that you should really take this one in and enjoy it, because I think it's so fantastic. And I didn't read any more comments after that one. And people are entitled to their opinions. If, like I said, that's such a hard and fast rule for people, any type of animal cruelty. I understand it. I have a really hard time when it comes to children, abuse and stuff like that. So I totally understand. But it's such a beautiful story, and I just would hate for you to miss out on it. So, but I understand. Anyway, that is my review. My glowing review of American Rapture by CJ Leede. Here is Miss Beautiful, oh my gosh, CJ Leede herself. Go follow her on Instagram too. She is also such a great, like, fellow author to her other author. Like, she's always hyping up all of her author friends, and she's just a great person in general. So go give her a follow as well. She has a new book coming out. I don't remember if she has like a title and a release date, but if I know that information, I'll put it on the screen. I just remember her putting something out on Instagram. Did she say it's taking place in, I think she put the city it's taking place, or the title. Oh, I can't remember now, but she is an auto-buy author for me. I absolutely love her stuff and love it even more now. So that was my review. That was our book club for March. April's book club pick, I believe, will be Convenience Store Woman by, I can't remember their name. It starts with an S, I think. I will put it here. I'm so excited for that one. I think we decided that's what it's going to be. So yeah, we already know what that's going to be. Fantastic. Let me know if you have read American Rapture and what you thought of it. And yeah, leave your comments down below. I would love to hear. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know. And if you are not subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you here. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.